funded by the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland with the television licence fee.
Pick up any Irish newspaper any day of the week, and there's a good chance you'll read an article about the latest gangland shooting connected with drugs in some city centre or suburban location. Reading such pieces, people often ask, what can be done? Is it possible to fix the addiction problem which fuels such crime? Believe it or not, throughout Dublin and beyond, many people and groups are doing Trojan work to help people recover from addiction, whether it be drugs or drink or whatever, and live addiction-free lives. This 5-part series aims to highlight the stories of such people and groups.
The best resurrection that anybody could have would be to raise from the depths of an addiction to new life.
It's the Lazarus effect.
Anyone that has a true recovery from addiction, it is a gift, really a gift.
Such miracles happening in young people's lives that they can become free from addiction. It's a wonderful thing.
I'm getting my life back slowly but surely now.
The end of an old life, as I say, and the beginning of a new life in recovery. You have to want recovery, and I took it.
I fought long and hard for recovery, and I'll fight tooth and nail to keep it.
And we begin our odyssey into the world of recovery from addiction by first visiting Cuan Mhuire Rehabilitation Centre in Athy, County Kildare. Here's Liam McLaughlin, co-manager of Cuan Mhuire Athy, to explain its roots, making reference to Sister Consilio Fitzgerald, the founder of Cuan Mhuire.
Cuan Mhuire grew and came about because of a vision of Sister Consilio Fitzgerald, who at the time, over 50 years ago now, was working in the convent in Athy. And during the course of her work, both in the hospital and in the convent, she came across these men who would call looking for food or looking for a night's lodgings. And Consilio, her nature was to certainly look after them and help them as best she could, but also to listen to them and hear their stories. And she found out by listening to them and hearing their stories that many of those people, through no fault of their own, left their family home because of embarrassment. And the reason that they would have left it is because of their addiction, that they became addicted to alcohol, which was the most common addiction at that time, and that they didn't know where to go or what to do, and they just wandered around the country from town to town, from county home to county home, gathering up, kind of getting a little bit of work here, and it was all to keep them in that addiction. So she's seen these people, met these people, and knew that if she could do something for them, if she could listen to them, and she did listen to them, and she found, if this was one of her brothers or somebody from her own family, what would she do? What would her father say if this was one of those people? And they'd say, show them, try and love them, show them a bit of love and get them moving again. And then at that point then she just came to the conclusion that someday, somehow, somewhere, she would find a place that these people would call home.
And from such humble beginnings, Sister Consilio soon afterwards began the Cuan Mhuire movement in 1966. Over the years, Cuan Mhuire has grown from strength to strength, so that nowadays it's the largest provider of residential detoxification and treatment for those suffering from addiction in Ireland. It operates several full residential centres, residential transition houses and training centres throughout Ireland. So what is the Cuan Mhuire approach to recovery from addiction? Kieran Ryan, a recovered drug addict and now an addiction counsellor in Cuan Mhuire Athy.
The approaches that Athy would use in general would be very person-centred, in the sense where we take people in, we take them for who they are and where they're at and whatever stage they're at, and we kind of work and build up with them from there. Our programme is founded and grounded in 4 pillars, which would be personal therapy, group therapy, recreation, spirituality and some occupational therapy. No part of our programme supersedes any other part. They're all equal and they all have equal strength and are all as vitally important as the other.
And as Kieran Ryan just touched on, the first of the 4 pillars in the Cuan Mhuire approach to recovery is personal therapy. So what exactly does this entail?
The essence of the personal therapy would be one-to-one counselling, where people would come in and there would be an assigned counsellor in week 6 or week 7 of the programme, and that would give them the opportunity to be able to sit with someone in confidence and be able to speak about how they're feeling and what's going on for them and what their experiences of addiction has been like and how they've suffered and how their families have suffered. The benefits are immense from it. And also then we have group therapy, which gives people the opportunity to be able to sit with people who've experienced the same things as them and has similar issues to them, and be able to work out and solve their problems and solve their issues in a group setting.
And I'd say that's remarkable. I mean, you have peers to support you, and, you know, united we stand, divided we fall. Would I be right?
Yeah, and it gives people a sense that they're not on their own, that other people have experienced the same things as them.
In the group, if I have a problem today, I can talk to someone about it and tell them how I'm getting on in life, and that's where recovery starts. The answer is in the group.
The power of the group is where the healing is, because you realise you're not alone.
We all do together for what we can't do on our own.
If there's somebody struggling, they'll help somebody along, and that's how it goes. It's about passing on the message.
We're all in this together, and we can all come through together, and we can all succeed at this together.
Kieran, the next pillar, so to speak, on the approach to recovery, just elaborate for our listeners, please.
The recreational part of things would be we would have on site, we would have a full gymnasium, we would have an AstroTurf soccer pitch, and we would have Tai Chi as well. All the residents are welcome to use them from week 3 onwards, and it gives them an opportunity then to go out and do exercise and to instill some healthy living in them as apart from the therapy, because too much therapy can be not good as well, and it gives people an opportunity to have an outlet to relieve stress, and also maybe for some people it's their first time in a gym, or it could be the first time in a football pitch or in Tai Chi or whatever, and it's just good for them. It gets them out and socialise an element to it as well.
Get the body moving, and a healthy body, healthy mind.
Absolutely, yeah, and the benefits from it are great, because we would have people here who would continue when they leave here then join their local gyms, or maybe go into the holistic therapy side of things with the Tai Chi or whatever.
And as was mentioned earlier, the fourth pillar of the Cuan Mhuire recovery programme is work therapy. Now, it's for this reason that Cuan Mhuire Thai operates a farm, a mushroom unit, carpentry, pottery and sewing workshops, and much, much more. Nicola Kelly, co-manager of Cuan Mhuire Thai.
We have pottery, where currently we'd have 8 or 9 men on a daily basis working in the pottery and learning the arts of pottery. Some people have never done it before, other people are just sharpening on their skills. We have a sewing room then where it's mostly attended by women, to be honest, and those women would range in maybe from 18 up to 65 or 70 years of age, and we would have about 6 or 7 people there on a daily basis. We have the wood workshop, which is run by a guy here that has already completed the programme, and currently we have just bought a new wood turner, so we're hoping that people, young lads especially, be able to develop, a new trade and a new art, and to find gifts that they might never have discovered that they have. We go on from there then, and we have the farm, and on that farm then we milk cows on a daily basis. We grow our own vegetables. We have grass, naturally enough, to feed our animals, and we have 1 or 2 residents working on a daily basis there. The mushroom unit then, that's up the yard another small bit. We have the lads in our ladies unit, which are the lads are here who are recovering mainly from heroin addiction, do that as part of their work therapy on a daily basis. So that's a very responsible job, in that mushrooms have to be picked when they're ready. They have to be meticulous in all the work that they do, and it really does help those guys, to come from a different place, because very often when people are in addiction, they live in their heads. So, that's about being attentive and about learning how to focus and to do that work on a daily basis. And they, at the beginning, to be totally honest, they absolutely detest being there, and they really can't understand why they're there. But it actually takes maybe 5 or 6 weeks for them to settle down, even on the programme and as part of the work therapy then as well. So, and they do really well from that, to be honest, and they will say that to you after 9 or 10 weeks, because their programme is actually 20 weeks long. They will say that to you after 9 or 10 weeks that it does make a difference and that they really enjoy doing it. We also have greenhouses here, and in those greenhouses we have residents on a daily basis too that go down there, and they grow plants and shrubs and flowers, and we have a garden centre here then that we in turn supply with those plants and flowers. And we also try to keep our own gardens here looking nice. You know, we like our place to look well, and we use those shrubs and flowers to keep the place well. And that's all the outdoor work. But then we have work inside as well. You know, maybe somebody is shy and we might suggest that they might work on reception here. You know, that could help them to just answer phones and say hello to people. We have the coffee bar here, which residents use, and that's run by the residents. And then we have all the daily house chores that happen here, and everybody helps each other. It's mostly ladies then that do the house chores inside. But, you know, everybody, as we said, you know, looks out for each other. And, you know, if there's somebody struggling, they'll help somebody along. And that's how it goes. It's about passing on the message.
And kind of, we're, again, a family kind of. That's what seems to be coming across from talking to everyone, you know, that this is a family and we're all out for each other and family supports each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is actually the way it works here. You know, people come new in here at the beginning and it might take them a week or two to settle down, but it's the support of the other people that maybe might encourage them to stay here if they're looking to go home. You know, and that's how it does work, and the nurses help with that too.
They'll be doing boxes in the factory, but since I'm after coming, I'll have to be doing a lot of work on the garden to get the garden together.
Cuan Mhuire resident Jared, who's recovering from drug addiction.
It was great, like doing the garden, painting, building walls, the pond. It's brilliant, and the garden's brilliant. And then today we were doing bongos. I've never done that like that in my life, and I've never would until I came here, like. And I actually liked it when I was doing it. We were singing, and that's not me. Do you know what I mean? But hopefully it is the new me now. And I don't know, like
new life patterns, and you know, making into new ways of living and new ways of thinking. And there is life after addiction, basically.
It seems that way now. Like I never thought there was, but my eyes are starting to open up in here. Like talking to the counsellors and the lads.
My name is Kate Quinn, and I was a resident down here 20 years ago, and I'm working down here now, and I run the CE programme. I'm a supervisor on CE, and thanks to the funding that we get from the Department of Social Protection, residents who we have who stay on have the opportunity to go back to college, go back to school, go back to education, get trained in different areas. And we have a lot of residents who stayed on who were able to avail of counselling, and they've gone on to become counsellors themselves. And then we have people on the farm who got trained in different aspects of farming. People in the gardens got trained in different things in the gardens. And it's through the help that we get that all these people can go on, and then they can give the benefit of their experience onto new residents coming in. We have one lad here, Derek Farrell, who's training to be a counsellor at the moment, who had come in as a resident as well.
I'm Derek. I facilitate the wood workshop here, and I'm also training to be a counsellor through the support of Cuan Mhuire.
What are the challenges of becoming a counsellor? What's it all about?
I suppose it's all about personal development and growing in all aspects, you know, from yourself. I suppose it's something I never thought I'd ever end up doing. I wouldn't have the confidence to do it, but Cuan Mhuire has given me the opportunity to develop that confidence within myself and build my self-esteem, which in turn then I try to, coming from a carpentry background, I try to introduce in the woodwork. It was like a lot of these lads wouldn't have any chance or gifts and stuff like that, and it's just trying to draw them out of it. I'm a firm believer you can get a lot out of someone through the creative side as well, which takes on a different form of therapy as well.
And especially carpentry as well. It's creative, but it's also hard work as well.
It is, yeah. It's physical work, but it's a lot to do with the mind as well. And some, you know, you see the joy in the lads' faces when they do create something. You know, it's unbelievable, and you see them from the first week they come in to the last week that they're leaving. Like, and their confidence and their self-esteem around all aspects just grows on a different level. I suppose it's a way of just drawing it out of them and letting them know that they have gifts and stuff like that without keeping them down. Just draw it out of them easily, like, you know, and give them a bit of confidence. It's just let them build themselves and let them build their own self-esteem, and which to do. Do you know what I mean? They tend to try and knock themselves, but if you give them that little bit of encouragement, you'd be surprised what they're able to create.
And at this juncture, I decided to pop into the carpentry workshop which prior speaker, Derek Farrell, helps run. Who am I talking?
Kieran Griffin, it's my name. I'm finished Prog.1 now about 6 weeks. I just come back to do voluntary work. I lost my job through addiction back at home, so I learned an awful lot in here.
And what did you learn, Kieran? What were the big lessons?
I learned that going down the road of addiction is a bad way to go, I needed help. I wanted to stop, but I didn't know how to stop. So I came to the right place and I'm still sober, thank God.
And Kieran, just try and give our listeners a word picture of the vast array of work going on here in the carpentry workshop here in Cuan Mhuire. I mean, I just gobsmacked. I mean, the wealth of artefacts and carpentry and everything. Just try and give them a word picture because it's very impressive.
Yeah, we're kept busy here all right now. If there's not stuff made for the garden centre here in Cuan Mhuire, or if there's residents themselves looking for things for home, presents or that, Christmas time here, we were up to our eyeballs now, But
very busy, was it?
Very busy, yeah. But it's all good. It makes other people happy the stuff we do, But
and what do you enjoy making most yourself?
Anything that just keeps me busy, That's the other side of addiction as well with me, to keep yourself going, Think positive now these days, Keep the negative stuff away.
Kieran, we're just looking across there now and we're looking at rocking chairs and there's different, just give our listeners a taste of the array of carpentry produce here now that's been produced here today.
Yeah, it was maybe rocking chairs, decking chairs or chairs for, the gardens or whatever, it's easy enough to make and do,
I don't know about that. Not if I was doing it.
Well, if you're here long enough now, you learn it fairly quick now, alright, yeah. Especially the rocking chairs for the kids now, people go mad for them, We can engrave their names or their birthdays or their date of birth they were born on, their favourite cartoon character and,
so customised rocking chairs.
Yeah. We'd make one, we had an order in for a girl there, a friend was having a baby and she wanted one for her friend when she was feeding the baby, but we're still working on that.
A vital step for anyone trying to find recovery from addiction to drink or drugs is detox, the process of ridding the body of unhealthy substances. All Cuan Mhuire centres operate their own residential detox units. So just how difficult can detox be? Derek Farrell.
The biggest challenge for anyone coming into detox is the fear. Usually they're terrified and they don't know what to expect. We're lucky here that we have, there'll be some solid lads down there around the detox that will show them a bit of compassion and stuff like that. So, but a lot of it would be a lot of fear and probably guilt and shame and the whole aspect of it. But I suppose it just starts off the journey that everyone embarks on, including myself at one time, and it's somewhere you never want to end up or visit and stuff like that. But when you look back on it, there's a lot behind the Cuan Mhuire way of getting you in and giving you that, time just to settle for a couple of weeks before you get into the programme and stuff. So.
My experience, I came through the Methadone Detox programme here in Cuan Mhuire. I spent a long number of years smoking heroin and taking other drugs, and then I applied to come in for treatment. Then I was put into the detox unit for 18 days.
Kieran Ryan.
For me, the fear of the unknown and fear of would the methadone be enough to hold me? It was very frightening, but again I was put down in the detox unit with the supervisors down there and who had experience and who had gone through it previous to me coming here, and they knew how I was feeling, what was going on for me. My biggest quandary, I suppose, at the time was, would the methadone be enough to hold me? The methadone was dispensed to me in the morning at 9 o'clock and then again at 9 o'clock at night time, which worked a treat. I didn't think it would, because before I came in here I was smoking up to 7 bags of heroin a day, and I was taking 120 mils of methadone, buying it on the street, and then coming in, being prescribed 40 mils of methadone by the doctor on site here, 20 in the morning and 20 at night, and then it was being reduced daily. I'm wondering would it hold me, and it did hold me, and things went well for me. But my biggest, I suppose, battle in detox was when I finished the methadone, and I had a 3 to 5 days rest period then after that, and going through withdrawals and being sick and looking to leave and wanting to leave and not being able to, because I was just so fragile and so frail. I was 32 at the time, and I was 6.5 stone in weight, so I was broken when I came in. But with the help of the nurses and with the help of the staff down there and the supervisors, they got me through it. They looked after me through my withdrawals, and then they brought me over, and then I commenced a 20-week residential programme, the drug programme, which eventually led to 30 weeks.
When I came into detox, I came in on a Sunday afternoon, very, very much the worse for wear. And I couldn't hold a cup in my hand. I was shaking from head to toe.
Recovered alcoholic Kay Quinn.
And I remember the nurse on duty was Anne Hickey, and she was so kind to me and so nice to me. But I thought she was a murderer. I thought she was going to kill me. She gave me tablets to take, and I was afraid to take them because I thought my family had told her to kill me off, to get rid of me, because I had caused so much devastation in a family. And the ladies that were in the unit with me were extremely kind. There was one lady in particular, Phyllis Gillen, and she did absolutely everything she could to help me. And I think it was with the help of the people in detox who told me how things were and how their lives had changed. And some of them were further on in the programme than I was, because I was only starting, and they really helped me. And there were so many nice people in the house, kind people, and everybody, absolutely everybody in the house tried to help each other. And it was such a nice atmosphere. And it was just brilliant. It changed my whole life, changed my whole outlook on life.
That's great. And as the guy says, group support, we're all in it together. We can all help each other along.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes on a dynamic of its own. We can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's the support that we give each other and how we help each other out. And it's the different things that Cuan Mhuire do. And they have come on so much from that time. Cuan Mhuire has grown so much. And the way Cuan Mhuire will go out to schools now and do an outreach programme and try to talk to people. If I had listened to people when I was in my 30s, when I was really going into an addiction, if I had to listen to people or heard stories or seen things, the damage that I was doing, I could have changed my life sooner. And the fact that Cuan Mhuire go out to schools now and talk to young people, because the culture in Ireland now, people are starting to drink younger and younger and younger. And my advice would be to any parent or any family out there, if you have somebody young getting into an addiction, bring them down to a place like this just to have a look. Bring them down here to a family meeting. Let them see the way they can change their lives and what they can do with their lives and how they can improve themselves.
What is very clear from prior commentary is that as a result of its many years in operation, Cuan Mhuire has had a remarkably positive impact on Irish society, helping to save many lives. Here's who I met up with at a recent Cuan Mhuire Open Day.
I'm Michael Byrne and I'm from Dublin.
Matthew Moore in Limerick. Jerry O'Reilly in Avon.
And just begin with yourself, Michael. Michael, we're here today in Cuan Mhuire. Now, for yourself, what's the magic of Cuan Mhuire all about? Some fantastic work has been done down the decades.
Well, Cuan Mhuire saved my life. I had a problem with alcohol, but they helped me with that, and I had to do 2 terms in here, but I've been sober quite a while now, and I'm very grateful to it. And if it wasn't here, I don't think I'd be alive.
My God, that says it all. Fantastic. And for yourself?
Well, like Mike said there, you know, it saved my life as well, like, you know, because there was really no hope for me. Because it's gone that bad, you know. And I'm just happy to be here now.
Jerry, for yourself?
Yes, well, it's done an awful lot for me. Like, I didn't know anything about treatment centre or anything like that until last January. I came into Brewery, and Cuan Mhuire and Brewery, and it's saved my life. It's literally saved my life now, and it's given me hope. And I went through a lot the last 3 or 4 years, but now I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is great, and it's thanks to Cuan Mhuire.
What's the most difficult thing about overcoming the addiction of drink?
Well, the first thing is admitting that you have a problem. That's the first thing you have to do. And do a programme in Cuan Mhuire, and it makes you realise how dangerous it is. Like, I didn't realise what it was doing to me until I started the programme and seeing other people, and realised then the danger of it. You know, so that's more or less like, if you hadn't got places like Cuan Mhuire, I think there's an awful lot more people would be dead from alcohol and drugs. Like, it's saved a lot of lives.
Men, what's the best thing about recovery?
It's waking up without a hangover and actually being able to enjoy the day, living in the day and not having to take your drug of choice, because, you know, normal people drink to feel good. Alcoholics drink to feel normal, and it's a you know, they say that AA and Cuan Mhuire, it opens the gates of hell and lets you out. And that's what it has done for me.
I'm sober anyway today. And that's the main thing, that's what it's done for me. Thank God. I'd be able to appreciate life again on every day, which is great. That's the main thing, I think. You know, so that's what Cuan Mhuire has done for not only me, but thousands of people.
And to hear more heartwarming stories of recovery from addiction, then make sure to catch our next number 2 programme in this 5-part There Is Life After Addiction series. Until then, well, I'm going to leave the last word with various contributors.
Cuan Mhuire, we try to help people get themselves back on track.
My life turned around when I came to Cuan Mhuire. I know I have a better life.
It's open to everyone in all denominations and all creeds or whatever.
We have centres throughout the country in Limerick and Galway and Newry.
Nobody is actually turned away, and everyone is welcome here.
And it's about respect for people, it's about meeting people where they're at, it's about being non-judgmental. That's what Cuan Mhuire is about.
Cuan Mhuire is a way of life for someone to get back on the way of recovery, to trust and say that I will be okay.
Funded by the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland with the television licence fee.